Hi, Gerald Goodrich here, and I'm here to showcase Driver Sprint for the project on the tile-based game that we've been working on implementing mechanics in. This week I chose to re-implement Janie Boucher's mechanic, which was a tile that slides over the plate and slides down the floor. My mechanic's a little bit different from hers, as once you slide the block over the pressure plate, it locks it in place and is unable to move anymore. And then the player can walk through the doorway and onto the finished tile. As for mixing both of them together, I decided to keep the items that are needed to get through to the ability locked behind the door that can't slow it down, as well as a stamina pickup that refills the player's stamina because he needs to be able to push blocks after he finishes. So let's talk about how I set up the mechanic. We'll start off with the stamina pickup because I forgot to do that in the last video. But basically, you ask the player if his current stamina is equal to his max stamina, and if that is true, you display a message to the player saying stamina is full. However, if it's not true, you set the new stamina to the current stamina added with the stamina regen amount, and then you clamp it to the max stamina value to make sure that it doesn't go over the max amount. And then you set the current tile that the stamina was sitting on until you can enter, and then play a sound signifying that you picked it up, and then destroy the actor. Now over in the door, when the button is pressed, you reverse the values of can enter and active from false to being true, and then you play a sound and change the color of the door to match when it's activated. This is the timeline that sets the relative location of the cube that I have for the door, and it just lowers when it's pressed. And on interact, it's just sending the message to play this right here. This is the first way that I tried to do the color switching on the tile when the cube overlaps it, but it was failed. I think I was using the wrong boolean to try and distinguish between the two. And over in the pressure plate, to begin with, on begin play, we get a reference to the parent, and then we get the active class for the tile door, and then we cast to the player and set a reference for it, and then we set a reference for the tile door again for some reason. But anyways, when the box or the tile is entered, it checks to see if it's the interactable box. If it's not, it plays a sound to let the player know that the box doesn't do anything to the tile. If it is, it sends a interact message to the door from the player saying, I'm trying to interact with you. And then as the door, we ask if it is active. And if it is active, we set the color of the pressure pad to the active color. This was me trying to figure out how to get it to work more than once in the level. I was trying to assign an index to each one of the instances through the use of enumeration, but I was unable to get that work.